Hey guys, what's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Ooze here. Ooze here. Back with another Binding by Isaac ring run. Mom's knife. I haven't done a mom's knife run in a while. I've been tripping over my words all day. I'm sorry. This is gonna keep happening. It's already happened twice, and I started the episode 30 seconds ago. This fucking sucks. Anyway, mom's knife. Haven't done a mom's knife run in a while, so fuck it. Why not? And also, I feel bad about the last run. Like, I almost immediately felt bad, and then I realized that it was 2 a.m. and for me to reasonably feel sad enough to not put up the episode, did I say sad? Whatever. To feel bad to a point where I wouldn't put the episode up. I was there, but it was also like 2 a.m. and I had been up for like 26 hours, I think, and it wasn't reasonable for me to, record a new one, so I just went with it. But I don't like overly salty. Oh, that's bullshit. I don't like overly salty videos where it's people getting mad all the time. I don't like it. I try not to be it, but sometimes the salt it takes me away to that special place. That's a sweet child of mine. I would go with the next line to make it even more clear that it was sweet child of mine. But I actually forgot it as I was making the joke. It's alright though. The line is like, God, I still don't even remember the next line after it. It takes me away to that special place. Oh, and if I stare too long, I'll probably break down and cry. That's right. Okay, I got it. We're good. We got there. All you gotta do is just sing it through. That's all you gotta do. You just sing it through. That rhymes as well, so it's perfect. It's perfect enough that, no, not again. It's perfect enough that, even the average idiot can do it. It's great. Which is myself, by the way. I'm the average idiot. Hello, nice to meet you. So I've been watching people play Overwatch all day. I didn't get into the beta. I wasn't really expecting to get into the beta, but I had high hopes. Because sometimes, I'm very specifically excessively lucky. So, you know what? I had high hopes. Didn't get in, at least not yet, so whatever. But I've been watching people play all day, and the game looks rad. It's so cool, right? Because one, it's new. It's a new game, which is cool. Yeah, let's go this way. Shit. It's just cool. The main thing I really like is that it actually feels fairly unique. And I know people are going to disagree with me on that, because people are pretty dead set on claiming how much it copied from TF2 and shit like that. And I'm going to level with you right now. I don't think it really is a copy at all. I think new games, in order to carve out their own foothold in this gigantic, I don't know, fucking tree, sure, we call video games. For a new one to come along and do that, it's unreasonably difficult, no matter who you are. Because people are used to what they're used to, right? If a new game comes out, right, let's say that you're releasing a game, it's an RPG. I'm probably not going to play it. I'm not an RPG guy. I play a few RPGs, I have played a few in the past, but I'm not really an RPG guy. I couldn't care much less about new RPGs coming out, right? So the problem is, no matter what you do, you're gonna turn people, either you're gonna turn them off the game or not turn them onto the game, if you're just completely doing your own thing. So I think it's reasonable to have a lot of similarities to successful games, to games that have actually carved out that foothold. Because yeah, actual new original ideas for games are few and far between. And then when they exist, they don't go so well with the general public. Why that is, not sure. Probably just a familiarity thing, but it's definitely true. You can see it on Steam every day because new games are coming out every day on Steam. And in fact, a lot of them are really creative and really unique, but they just don't become successful. And honestly, the reason for that, the reason they're not incredibly successful, I'm actually going to take this. This might seem weird, but we'll see. Sure. The reason they're not wildly successful isn't always, it is sometimes, but it isn't always that they're just bad games, you know? A lot of times, it's just because people are like, you know, they see this new game come out, and they're just like, why should I care, you know? Because it's new and creative, and they've never played anything like it. Well, why would I spend my money on it then? If I've never played anything like it, and I don't know if I'm gonna like it, and because it's a new, like, indie game, not a lot of people can hype it up, right? And so, basically, all you have to go off of is, like, a very, very small amount of people who have maybe reviewed the game. Maybe it's so new or so small that people haven't even reviewed it. Who knows, right? That's all you have to go off, though. And that's difficult for the average consumer to go with. But if you make a game like Overwatch, which clearly takes a lot of cues from games such as Team Fortress 2, then it's much easier to ease people into the idea of playing that game, right? It's so much easier. Because people know TF2. The average video game player knows what TF2 is. So it's much easier to be like, hey, it's like TF2, than be like, well, it's this really weird, like, existential sort of thing. It's like a world-building sort of thing. The entire experience is you immersing yourself in this world, and there's a lot of metaphors and shit. Like, that doesn't sound interesting. I don't give a shit about that. Can I shoot people with guns? That sounds fun. And so, yeah, I don't think the criticism of, oh, it's super similar to TF2, I don't think it's meaningless. It's a meaningless criticism. I think it can definitely serve a purpose. But I think the way most people are using it is more of in like a dismissive kind of way, where that's just their end explanation for why they're not excited for it. Oh, it just looks like a TF2 copy, right? Like that. I think if you can give it a shot and dive into it a bit, and then your main criticism is, well, it just feels like I'm playing TF3, right? Sure. I mean, that's reasonable. But being dismissive is just not useful, you know? So that's my thought on that subject. But the cool thing is, this is awesome. 2 runs in a row, 2 nights in a row where I just get nothing. Except this time I did finally get a damage up and Mom's Knife. So, so much better. Nice. But the one thing that looks so sweet to Overwatch, about Overwatch to me, I guess, is that guns in that game, I think they kill in the sweet spot. It's such a hard thing. The hardest thing about first-person shooters is finding your sweet spot for how fast guns kill. Because on one end of the spectrum, right, you have Call of Duty, and then on the other, you have, I guess TF2? Is there a game that really you kill slower than TF2? TF2 is definitely the slowest one I can think of. And it's fairly slow. It can be fast at times. It can be, sure. There are very specific kind of situations where it kills fast. Obviously, if you're sniping and you're hitting, I don't know, an engineer. NGs still have the lowest health, right? I'm assuming that hasn't changed. I think they had 125 or something. I think, doesn't Scout also have 125 or 150? But it doesn't matter. Let's just say you're a sniper and you're shooting an engineer. Yeah, you're gonna one-shot him. I mean, that's just gonna happen. So, while it can be slow, like if you're shooting a heavy, in most cases, you're gonna kill him real fucking slow. And that's fine for TF2. It works for TF2. I hate bonies. I've taken 2 hits against bonies on this floor. You know, it works fine if you're TF2, and it probably would have worked fine if that was also the case in Overwatch, but they made it so you kill just a little bit faster than TF2. Just a little bit. And that's awesome. I like that. Because I've always felt most other shooters, like, you know, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, etc., most other shooters do kill incredibly fast. And I never really liked it, you know? It always just felt like the amount of skill involved was just lower because of how fast the shots happened. It's a different skill set, Twitch shooting, than just being good at aiming, just generally, you know? Twitch shooting is a very specific skill, and it is skillful. Like, I'm not trying to downplay how skillful it is. This is real good to kill people real well in Call of Duty, because it can be, but all right. But overall, I would say it's just, I don't know. It feels easier to kill, which it literally is. And I don't like that. Because it never feels like, if you're playing Call of Duty, it very, very seldom will you get into a firefight and be like, oh shit, and then you can get out, right? Firefight happens, it's done in an instant, and oh, I fucked up, whoops. You know, it doesn't feel like you can correct the mistake on the fly. Well, in a game like Overwatch or Halo, that's another game I was trying to think of that didn't pop into my head earlier, but Halo, I'd say, kills a little bit faster than TF2 on average. It depends on the guns, I guess. If you're just queuing up like Team Slayer or whatever, assuming that, you know, more recent incarnations of Halo, Team Slayer is still assault rifles. Like, yeah, Team Slayer average kill time is going to be pretty slow, but when you go BRs, power weapons, shit like that, then yeah, I mean, it speeds up, it ramps up quite heavily. Speaking of BRs, Team BRs is my favorite fucking shit in history, so there you go. But in Halo, you can definitely get into a firefight and be like, oh shit, and then get out, right? You can get out of firefights, and that's awesome. I wish a lot of other shooters allowed you to do that, and it looks like Overwatch lets you do that. In fact, there's a character whose entire purpose is doing exactly that, and that's Tracer, which is cool. Thank God. It's really cool. It's an awesome concept. I really like it. And the other thing is, like, Tracer, people, obviously because the game is so similar to TF2, a lot of people, their first thought is, like, when they see one of the characters, like Tracer, they're gonna go like, oh, it's like the Scout. And that's kind of true. Playstyle is fairly similar, but Tracer's awesome. Tracer's so much more unique than the Scout. She doesn't just move fast. I think, in fact, she might actually have the same move speed as everybody else. I actually don't know, because I'm not in the beta. But from what I'm seeing, she doesn't seem to move excessively quickly compared to the rest of the cast. What she can do, though, is she has a blink that is literally a blink. If you don't know what a blink is, then you should probably play some more video games. But I'll explain it for you. A blink is basically a character teleports forward, right? That's a blink. So that's what she has. It has 3 charges that kind of refresh independently. If one charge is refreshing, others can't, but they do go so one by one, basically. It looks like it's like a 5-second refresh time. So basically, so if you blink 3 times back to back to back, first will come up at 5, second will come up at 10, third will come up at 15, right? That's how it works. Assuming it is 5 seconds, which I think it is. And that's awesome. First of all, I love that. It's a really awesome way to move, and it's very, very good. It's just a good way to move, generally. I had a feeling it was Krampus. Fuck. I should have cheesed him. Oh well. But, hey. So it's a really cool way to move. And then her other ability, because every character has, I guess it's like 3 abilities in an ultimate. Two. Well, they have like 2 abilities, and then most have a right click from what I understand, if not all. I can't think of Tracer's right click, which is why I'm not sure if she does have one. But so she has the blink, and then she has essentially like a time rewinder. If you've played Dota 2, it's Weaver's time lapse, or Dota 1 even. It's Weaver's time lapse, almost verbatim, on like a 12-second cooldown. And it's really cool because what it does is basically it puts you back in time an amount of seconds. It honestly looks like it's 4 seconds, which means that the Weaver comparison is pretty much perfect. It might be a little bit longer than 4 seconds, a little bit shorter, not entirely sure. Again, I don't actually have the game, I've just been watching streams all day. But it puts you back in time, let's just say 4 seconds for simplicity's sake. And you return to the position you were at 4 seconds ago with the health you had 4 seconds ago. That's awesome. That's really cool. And it does so in basically a blink type fashion, right? So you get this awesome visual of you getting like sucked through a wormhole backwards, while the opposing team, you're just off the map. You just disappear for a second and then reappear at the location that you're time lapsing to. And it's really, really neat. And then her ultimate's kind of bland compared to her other abilities, but that's okay, because her other abilities are fucking sweet. But her ultimate is basically a plasma grenade, except it's nuts. I mean, I think if you stick somebody, it actually one-shots like everybody? I'm not sure. I haven't seen... I've seen it get stuck to Reinhardt, who I think has the most health. Actually, Roadhog probably has more. I'm not sure. Regardless, I've seen it one-shot a Reinhardt from full. So, I think it one-shots anybody. If it sticks. Otherwise, it's literally, I mean, it's basically just a plasma nade in every way. Because it's, you throw it, it can stick. It's a much shorter range than a plasma nade in Halo. But, you know, you throw it, it can stick. If it doesn't stick, it'll still explode. And it does a shitload of damage if you stick. So, plasma nade, pretty good. It's great in conjunction with the rest of her kit as well, because you can just go like blink, 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 throw ult, and then time lapse out, right? And then you're completely where you were. You're back to where you were before you did the first blink. And as long as you didn't die doing that, then you're presumably going to be at full health. And you get the stick off. That's really awesome, right? It's just a really unique, really cool character concept. And a lot of the specifics, the specific tiny things, yeah, I mean, they were taken from elsewhere, but they've never been in this combination before, which is what makes it neat. But I'm definitely leaning towards playing the shit out of Junkrat or Widowmaker when the game comes out. I initially thought Hanzo, and his gameplay does look pretty cool, but I don't know if it's for me. Damn it. I don't want to be a, what do the kids call the TF2 snipers who just use the huntsman? There's probably some derogatory term for them, right? I was gonna say huntard, but that's what people call hunters in WoW, so I don't think that's the case. It could be. Maybe it's just the same term. That actually wouldn't be too shocking, I guess. Regardless, I think Junkrat looks just sweet as fuck. Alright, Halo Flies is pretty good. We actually have items this time. This feels good. I now know what items feel like. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. Alright, so, yeah. I really, I don't know, Overwatch has me so hyped, and I know that just means Blizzard marketing is at fucking work. That's all it is. And I get it. But goddamn, dude. Goddamn does that game look compelling. It really just feels like a really fresh take on first-person shooters. Because, I'll be honest, I think first-person shooters have gotten very stagnant. Like, CSGO is probably still an incredible game, but the problem is there's this kind of... There's a learning curve, which is not normally the case. This is a weird one. This is a weird thing I'm about to say because of what I've said previously about Overwatch and what makes it interesting. I'll try and articulate the exact way that I'm feeling, but it'll probably come off wrong, and you'll probably be like, hypocrite! But, whatever. Basically, CSGO... Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, fuck no. Wait. Oh, shit, yeah. Fuck yeah. Shit, yeah. Anyway, so the reason I think that CSGO is a much less popular game than a lot of the other shooters that I think are a lot more generic is because CSGO has a learning curve. Most other shooters, all of the curve is on the skill. It's not learning, right? I mean, it can be, to a much smaller extent. But if you're looking at the newest COD, or... the newest Halo, it's a tough one, actually, to talk about newer Halos and stuff like that. Because that's also a game with a bit of a learning curve, but I'll get to Halo later. But, like, if you look at the newest Call of Duty game every year, you're gonna be like, okay, it's Call of Duty. Let me get my gun, and now I can kill people. Perfect. Cool. Nice. And that's it, right? If you're good at COD, you're good at the newest COD. And that's it. That's how it works, right? Because it's just a very, very simple game. And I guess they just want to market it to simple people. I don't know. I don't quite get their marketing strategy. It works, whatever it is. But, you know, they're not really innovating. And they kind of have, somewhat recently. I saw from... I don't remember which was the first Call of Duty game that had it. I don't know, probably like Black Ops 8 or something. That's a joke, don't kill me. But, whatever. They added like movement options, and that's cool, right? You have like a jetpack, because now it's set in the future. And that's cool. I like that. I think that is fairly unique. But the core gameplay is still, you point and shoot, you hit a dude with 3 bullets, they're dead. Congrats, you fucking nailed it, right? So, it's very much just like, there's not a learning curve. Counter-Strike has a much steeper learning curve, just innately. Because Counter-Strike, although similar in kill speeds, I think it should be a bit slower, I guess, than COD. I know COD, you just like kill people in like a burst most of the time, and CS is similar from what I recall, but I think it is definitely overall slower. Regardless, you're playing Counter-Strike, right? And the problem is, if you just want to pick up Counter-Strike, you're a shooter player, you've never played Counter-Strike, and you want to pick it up, if you don't know the maps, you're probably just going to be a detriment to your team, right? That's just going to happen. Because the maps serve such a huge purpose in Counter-Strike. The actual literal positionings that you go to on the map are so much more impactful than a game like Call of Duty. Sure, COD has positions that matter. Like, you don't want to be standing directly out in the middle of a goddamn field, right? Sure. Yeah. I'm not saying positioning doesn't matter, but compared to Counter-Strike, it's almost irrelevant. Because the other thing is, like, Counter-Strike is also, there's a lot of, like, strategic element to, like, doing econ rounds, for example. That's a common thing at the top level of Counter-Strike. In fact, it's probably at, like, every level now, because everybody likes to copy the pros. Where you basically, the first round of a match, or the first round of a map, I apologize. I don't actually know how they determine matches. I'm not sure. It might just be maps. But the first round of the map, you quite often see one team going full pistols, or like one guy will buy like an AK. You probably can't even buy an AK off the bat. Isn't that the thing that you... It's been a long time since I played Counter-Strike, alright? Cut me some slack. But, you know, everybody rolls pistols because you have a pistol, and you do it. That's it, right? Because you're not spending all that money on an assault rifle. which you probably can't afford on the first round. Again, I can't really remember, I apologize. But you'll see people, there'll be rounds where people will just go all pistols, and it's great, right? That's cool strategy. That's really unique sort of stuff, because you have to buy the guns, so you'll have a round where you're basically just saving your money, so you can buy guns, right? Because, I mean, you can probably buy... Fuck, dude, I don't even remember, like, any of the other guns. All I have in my brain are Deagle, AK, and AWP, and that's it. That's all I have in my brain right now. And I know for a fact that that's not going to be enough to fully display the point I'm trying to make. It's okay, though. So, like, there's this strategic element that is core to the game that creates this learning curve in CSGO. COD is just any sort of curve there is when it comes to which guns you have is more of just a grind curve, at least in the last COD I played, which I want to say was Black Ops, so it's been a while. It's been like 6 games or whatever. But yeah, so like in COD, it's just you have to grind, you get your guns, and then you use the guns that you unlock later generally. Sometimes there'll be an outlier, but I mean the strategy in guns themselves is not very apparent in Call of Duty games. It's just kind of you shoot people and they die, right? Where was I going with this point? I don't remember. Right, that's the reason I think that the average consumer of video games is going to play Call of Duty instead of Counter-Strike. And what is interesting is that Overwatch kind of merges the worlds. Because there is a lot of Overwatch that is presumably going to be a learning curve, in that you choose heroes based on opposing heroes, and you roll with that and kind of, you know, change it up on the fly to ensure that you have the best possible comp at any given moment, depending on your opponent's comp, right? And that's cool. There's this like rock, paper, scissors element that allows you to kind of actively change which one you're holding up, and that's unique, and that's a learning curve sort of thing. But you probably can still just grab a character and roll with them. You know, I don't think there's ever going to be a time where you just pick a hero and then they're just completely useless. I've seen people today pick Bastion on attack, which, when you just look at it, right, when you just actually look at it, Bastion, of course, can transform into a stationary machine gun turret, which is crazy powerful on defense. But it's not the end of the world if he's on offense, right? Because I've seen them do really well, because you can take one of those ulterior paths to get to the front, right? Except instead of going to the front, you're going to get behind him, and then you're just going to set up shop behind him and go ham. And that's cool. That's still a possibility. And I'd think of all of the situations that you can be in, of bad character, bad character for the situation, I would say Bastion on offense is probably it. That's like the pinnacle, right? Unless it's payload, because you can hop on the payload, and even though you're stationary on it as a turret, the payload moves. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think I guess Torbjorn on attack might be worse, because he's basically NG from TF2. Instead of becoming a turret, he places a turret. But he can still do stuff on offense. Like, his gun's not bad. I've seen basically nobody play him, so unfortunately I don't have too much knowledge about him. But his gun seems not bad, and his ultimate is very much the get-in-your-face kind of thing. And he screams, "Molten Core!" It's pretty cool. So, I think Overwatch has a bit of both worlds, where it's kind of a hop in and you're good kind of thing. Like, that's definitely an option. That's a pathway that you can take. While you can't really do that in Counter-Strike, probably because you'll get screamed at by your teammates. Because people get real mad in games like Counter-Strike or Dota or LoL or, you know, every game. People just get mad in video games. But, yeah, so you can take this path of just hop in, play some games, and hop out. You know, just pick a dude you like and just play it. And that's cool. But there's also this incredibly deep underlying sort of strategy element to it, which we'll have to see how deep it actually is once competitive Overwatch picks up once the game releases. presumably early next year. Once that happens, we'll find out how deep that strategic element actually goes. It could just literally be a very basic sort of thing and not actually be that deep, and people will just like start with a set 6, and then, you know, occasionally we'll switch out like a tank for tracer or something when you need to break a big defense. Who knows? Maybe it's actually going to be shallow as shit. It'll be like you're trying to fucking breaststroke in the baby pool or something. But I don't know. It's got a lot of promise. It looks really sweet, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it. And in fact, that's it for the run. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I actually finally got some good shit. I mean, I got Mom's Knife immediately, so even though we had that complete dry spell of fucking garbage throughout pretty much every floor until I got to Boss Rush, I guess. When did I get triple shot? That was actually before Boss Rush, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And also, holy shit, you know what comes out on fucking Friday? Which, my brain is going crazy. Oh, because I'm recording this before midnight. Got it. So you guys are seeing this on Wednesday. There we go. So 2 days. 2 days until Afterbirth. Holy fuck. Holy shit. How am I gonna... Oh my god. I'm not gonna be able to cope. I just won't. It's alright, though. I don't need to. I mean, that's a weird way to end. Yeah, whatever. Bye.